Welcome to the Glasson flight at branch line for the Lancaster canal down to the Glasson dock. This is where we are at the moment, which is Bridge 1, Lock 1. This branch line consists of 6 locks, the last one being at Thurnham Bridge. This then takes you onto the Glasson Basin, which there's a further lock which then takes you out to the Lune estuary. This particular lock has won quite a few prizes for the best kept lock and bridge competition. As you can see, there's a few plaques with the different years that it won it. Very nice bridge with almost like cobbled effects that takes you over the top. Here we have the main Lancaster canal. If you go this direction, that would take you into Glasson. Probably with a wide beam, you're talking about 3 hours to get there. And obviously this direction then would take you up to Lancaster, the Lune Aqueduct, and eventually up to Turdfields, which is where the canal itself ends. So yeah, welcome to lock number 1. Here we are actually on the main line, the Lancaster. The one thing I really do love about being on the canals is just how close you are to nature. Not sure if you can hear it, but birds tweeting in the background. So there we have a way marker. 5¼ miles to Lancaster, Preston being 24, 7¾ to Glasson. And just to put that into perspective, that would probably take, by boat, approximately 3 hours to do that. So here we have Bridge 1. Just love the stonework on this. I don't know if you can see in the centre there, there's what's called a centre stone. So it's that one stone that basically holds the whole system together. So what you'll see here is this is actually the main overspill stroke water feed, which then feeds the Glasson branch. So obviously the locks do use water, but in order to keep the remaining areas topped up, the water then goes through this section here and goes round the lock into the next pound area. I suppose one of the questions is how do locks work? Effectively what we have here is the main line, which, as you can see, where the water level is. And then as we come to this section, which is actually in the lock, you'll notice there's quite a difference in water height. So effectively what we do is the boat would be in this section to start off with. We have a boater's key which will allow us to have access to this winding handle, and then obviously we would wind it up, and it's pretty much like opening the taps of a bath. And obviously, long story short, it starts to fill this area here. Locks can be quite dangerous, so one of the things that we have to ensure when we're in the lock is that the back of the boat or the front of the boat is not on what they call the sill, which is basically where the lock gates are seated. So all locks usually will have this sill marker, and you need to make sure that the boat is behind that. So once this section is now full, these gates can then be opened. The boat will then move into the lock. The gates will be closed, and then at the other end so it's quite a big lock. This will take a 14-foot by 70-foot boat, and what you'll notice here is we have some paddles that go into the water, and effectively in this case that's the plug that then releases the water out. The water level in here will obviously drop to the corresponding level of the lower section. The gates will then be opened and the boat can then travel through. Locks tend to be quite hard work, really. Certainly takes a couple of you to do it. Big old lumps of wood that and gates you need to move. Also interestingly, you'll notice there's these little sort of upstands in this sort of a bit of radius here. And the purpose of that is to allow you to really get your back into it and dig your heels in and give it a good old push. So you'll notice on both sides is you've got mooring up points with your ropes, and also when the boat is in the lower position, particularly if you're on your own, you need a ladder to get out. So those are there as well. So it is a bit of could be a dangerous operation really, so you need to make sure it's done carefully. This particular branch line, the Glasson branch, opened in 1820. So I always find it amazing how a lot of these very old structures are still going strong. Also what you'll notice over there is there's a whole load of planks. Those are called stop planks. So effectively if there's a breach in the canal, those planks would be used, and in this particular case they would be slotted into this section here, which would then allow the water to be held back, and they would use sort of clay to sort of watertight between the planks.